I thought the video was really interesting, and I definitely clarified some things for me about what the New Right movement is, as well as I've seen, the 700 Club, and I've always had weird feelings about it, and I know some things about Pat Robertson, and um, but I think just the video was really helpful in clarifying some of the mentality behind uh, what their goal is and kind of what they're doing. So I think this quote by Jerry Falwell, I'm just going to read it kind of for my own sake also, but if God lifts his hand from America, it's all over. And if America loses her freedom, the free world is gone. America should bless the world. Um, I think this quote is extreme, in a lot of ways, that if God lifts his hand from America, it's all over. I think the mentality behind this is that, America just kind of goes along with America being this chosen nation that, really we have no biblical basis for that at all. We hear God, we know that Israel, is in the Old Testament is God's chosen people, and through him came the Messiah. And, for all of us who are in Christ, we are a royal priesthood, a holy nation, and a people chosen by God and for God. And I think to pick out an actual nation, and America as, the means to, wealth and success for the rest of the world is really kind of off the wall. I also think, in terms of whether this philosophy of this kind of domination mentality and philosophy, if it's helpful or not, in furthering the name of Christ, I don't necessarily think it is. I think it can be more palatable for Christians to see and to think about, Christians having political power and kind of ruling the nation. It's not as scary for us and weird for us, but I think it's not weird, but I think for non-believers, it's very off-putting for Christians to kind of promote this mentality of, us being better and being right and, wanting domination and power. And I don't know, I think a lot of it just comes from fear, and this fear that if, certainly we should be working towards the good of our nation and towards our nation, knowing Christ and knowing the gospel. But ultimately, we know that God's going to have victory, and God's, the final judge. So I think for us to try to absorb this power for ourselves is really kind of fearful in terms of, if other political power has authority, what's going to happen to us? And, the worst, what's the worst that can happen, if we know God's ultimately going to have victory. And, yeah, so no, I don't think it's super beneficial in furthering the name of Christ. And, but I do think the video is really interesting, and I think it's good for me personally to feel like I have a little bit of a better understanding. Yeah, so thank you.